when I first started making these videos, despite the fact that no one really even watches them, I wanted to do more than just talk about the movies I recently watched. It's become sort of a thing where I just talk about, like, review films that I just saw in the theater, especially bad ones, because bad ones are easier to talk about. Good ones you can usually just go in a couple of minutes and say, I thought that was good, I thought that was good, I thought that could have been a little better, and that doesn't really interest me. I don't want to be like the Nostalgia Critic or Spoonie or any other, like, big online reviewer that talks about the bad movies in detail in the way of like a edited review. I just kind of like to talk about aspects I notice off the top of my head. Not for comedy necessarily, just from like an analytical film interested perspective. It's two different things. So, but as I said, when I first made an introduction for this little video thing, I didn't want to just talk about the games and movies that I recently watched / played. I wanted to talk about other stuff, and this is the first attempt at that. Like, I will get to the point where there are a lot of movies that I own that I kind of feel like are you know, sort of, that are like under the radar, that a lot of people have not seen, both internationally and just around me, friends. So I will be getting to a point where I will want to talk about movies that I want my friends and people in general to watch. Movies that have not gotten the attention they deserve. But this is a very, 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 like, video I just came up with off the top of my head. I wasn't even planning on doing anything. In fact, I was going to sit down and keep writing on a book I'm working on, or like a story. So I was going to do that, or maybe start working on a script I've been planning. But hell, I'm a procrastinator. That's why I've been working in a grocery store for 5 years. So yeah, we're going to get this started with something a little bit more random. We're going to talk about terrible, stupid movies that I, for some reason, own. And yeah, just so you know, I've collected, like, I think it's around 15 movies. They're on the floor around me right now. I have around 15 movies here or so, and this is by no extension the list of all the terrible movies that I own. I own a lot of awful movies that I shouldn't own, that I've bought either cheap or just because they were fun to laugh at. Some of these, I will give explanations for all of these films, but I just want to explain sort of in general why I'm doing this, why it's very random, because I've not made like any process here. I've just made a quick list of films I could see around me. Like, a lot of my movies are double stacked, so I had to sort of just like try and think which movies are awful and like which movies deserve to be on here. Like, for example, when I was pulling out a couple of movies, I saw Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, like right behind the movies I pulled out, and was like, oh shit, that movie should be on here because I bought that movie for full price, even though I'd already seen it in the theater and knew it was awful. But yeah, we're just going to dive right into this, because I might even do second or third installments if this is interesting, but I'd rather try and maybe, if I do these kind of videos, focus on more positive or at least quirky things. But let's get started. Okay, I think we should get started with the movie trilogy, the amazing trilogy that made me think I should make this video series. Okay, see, they're at the bottom here, so I'm just going to have to pull them out. Hang on. Oh yeah, here we go. In fact, the entire thing this started with, I was just going to post a picture on Facebook where I just held up these things. But I might as well just fucking make a video instead. It's like, why the fuck do I own the High School Musical movie trilogy? Holy shit. And the worst part of all is, with the exception of High School Musical 3, yeah, High School Musical 3, the senior year. Wow, what an amazing subtitle. Anyway, but the exception for this one, which also ironically comes with the DVD in the case, I even own these movies on DVD. Yeah, I upgraded these because I found them in a bargain bin. So I paid like $5 for each of these too, for the original. This one I actually bought for full price, and it's just one of those cases where I needed to complete the collection. I already had the other two on DVD, and I wasn't going to go buy the DVD, so I bought the Blu-ray, because at that time I'd upgraded to Blu-ray. But it's like, fuck, I'm an idiot. Like, oh god, why do I own these? For those who haven't seen High School Musical, I will give it some credit. Like most people, just like with Justin Bieber and a lot of other things that the kids like, they'll just dismiss it without even really knowing anything about it. Kind of like with Twilight. Yeah, as I said, anything kids like, they'll dismiss it without even trying to like see what it is about. I have read all 4 Twilight books. I've not listened to a whole lot of Justin Bieber, I will admit that, but put it like this. I heard his rape on Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and also how he raped the Rankin Bass animation version in that one of the 2 different fantastic music videos. And he could make the Citizen Kane of music. Like, he could make a song that's the perfect song, and I would not be able to forgive him for what he did to that song. So yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Justin Bieber, but I know stuff about High School Musical. I've seen them several times. The 3rd one I've only seen twice, thank God, because that's the only one I will say is legitimately awful, awful, awful. But without going in too deep, because this is not going to be, I don't want this to be a long reviews of everything, because I'll be here forever. But the thing about High School Musical that people hate is that the music is terrible, and yes, it is. After a while, all the songs sound the same. But I kind of find it fun, especially in the first one, because it was clear that it was trying to be a new version of Grease, and I like Grease, but I freely acknowledge that Grease is not a good movie. It's an awesome movie, but it's a terrible movie. It has not aged well, but I think that's sort of the charm with it, is that it's a movie set in the 50s, made in the 70s, and if you watch it in the 2010s and after that, like, it's just a mess. I think almost any movie that is one period, but it's made in another period, where you can still see the stigma of the period it was made in, like seep in through the edges of it, is kind of going to work in the movie, like not work in the movie's advantage, or maybe in the other exact opposite direction. It's kind of funny to see John Travolta back in those days when you watch Grease. It's like, oh, the 70s interpreting the 50s. It's fun. Yeah, but High School Musical is more like, it's pathetic because they're trying to do something that there's no talent behind. There's not enough talent to make new Grease out of it, but it's still so funny because they have amped up everything, because like I guess they think American youth is dumber than it was, or maybe it's just because they are, they're actually trying to market it to younger kids than I think Grease was marketed to. But Grease was based on a play, I think, or a musical, which means that at least it was based on something that was for adults. But I'm just gonna do a quick thing on High School Musical 1 through 3. The first one I like, not in a good way. No. Like I will tell you, half of these movies I have not even seen yet. They're just movies I know I will hate because I've seen enough of them to know. And the reason why they're in the shrink wrap is because I know this much about them. The other half I have seen, and most of them I like because they're terrible. So I guess the reason this entire video series is kind of pointless in a way, because it's sort of like, why do I own this movie? But oh yeah, I do it because it's terrible and I like it. But yeah, High School Musical 1, like it because it's stupid. High School Musical 2 has the dumbest and probably most infuriating plot ever, because it's about how the gang is spending their summer working at a country club, and Sharpay, the evil blonde bitch played by Ashley Tisdale, it wants to date Troy still because he's the most popular guy in school, and therefore since she's the most popular girl, they're just supposed to be together. She's basically the Gaston of like Disney Channel movies. It was like, well, Troy is the most attractive and popular guy in school, and since I am the most popular girl, I should date him, because that's the way the status quo works. But anyway, she gets Troy connected with all these big people that can help his future. He can get a career in basketball and get into a good college because of this girl. And basically, his friends get all pissy about the fact that he gets a better job at the country club, and that he gets to hang out with all these real basketball players and shit. And the whole lesson of this movie is twisted and pisses me off, and that is that Troy learns in the end that he's supposed to take all his potential career, potential future help that Sharpay can give him, and just throw it out the window because his friends are mad at him. You know what? If your friends, I mean, even though it's obvious that that he doesn't really deserve all the help he's getting, if his friends cannot be happy for the fact that he's getting a boost with his future, get new friends. But no, Troy realizes how important his friends are and how important his almost as shallow as Edward and Bella relationship he has with Gabriella is, that he throws all his future potential out the window, chooses to work at the Arby's down the street because it's more important to have friends through the rest of through the last year of high school. Fuck, it's so fucking stupid. It's so awful. Oh God. And the third movie's even worse. You know what? That's why I can talk sort of about the first one. I kind of find the second one funny, even though it's awful. Like, these are movies that I don't think I'll ever... I might be able to watch the first one again and sort of grin at it. The second one, I saw it on Disney Channel, like, I think a year ago, and already then, it was past its funny expiration date. So it's like, I guess that's why they belong here, is because of the fact that I bought the first and second movie on Blu-ray after my High School Musical expiration date had already occurred. It was like I had already stopped finding them funny, and yet I still bought it because I felt like, well, I might as well have them all on Blu-ray. I guess that explains why they're here. They're here because they were funny. The first two were funny. The third one is awful. That's the only movie here I'll directly say, I don't think, maybe once more if I ever go and waste my time. But then again, I have so many movies to watch. At this point, it's always there's something in the back of my head that points out that you should not be watching a movie you had already seen. You have so many movies to watch. Don't waste your time watching something you already know, unless it's something that will really make you feel better, or you can sit down and write to, that can either inspire you, or that can just because you're in a terrible mood. And High School Musical is obviously neither. You won't be inspired by it, and it won't make you feel good. So it's one of those things where I'm not sure I will ever be able to sit down and watch it in good conscience again. Okay, moving on. Let's see, I'm going to leave that open. Okay. I'm going to go through these movies that I haven't even opened yet, just because of the fact that if I go through them quickly, you'll understand why they're here. The first one, I'm going to actually have to look at the name of this one because I don't even know, it has a Swedish name on it. Ghost of Girlfriend's Past with Matthew McConaughey and frigging, God, Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner. God, Matthew McConaughey. I should see The Lincoln Lawyer, because everyone says that's like the movie that shows that he can actually act again. Because he makes one of those movies like every 10 years just to point out like, hey, I got a career for a reason, but I don't like to show it. Yeah, the only reason why I own this movie is because it's got Emma Stone in it. And I think a really small role, but Emma Stone is in it. And see, she's, oh my God. Oh, fuck! I'm gonna look at her. She's probably not even on the back. Yeah, she is. Next to Michael fucking Douglas. Michael Douglas is in this movie. I bet you this is the movie that gave him cancer. Okay. These other movies I have a little more, knowledge about. That movie's just here because I've heard really bad things about it. These other movies I know a whole lot more about. The first one is Evan Almighty. Oh dear God! They took Jim Carrey out of one of the actually more passable Jim Carrey movies. I can't stand him when he's funny. I don't like Ace Ventura. I don't like the Cable Guy. Liar Liar was a very long time since I saw. I like that okay at least, but when Jim Carrey gets to act out, he's insane. I liked Bruce Almighty because he was sort of reined in that movie. But take him out and replace him with his douchey fucking newscast nemesis? Really? I've heard so many bad things about this movie. This is one of those movies I found it in a bargain bin. And honestly, the thing is, with these kind of movies, it's always like, how long is the running time? And this movie is 1 hour and 36 minutes long. So I might want, if I really feel suicidal, I might choose this to watch. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Okay, and then the last two we have here, and again, I have a lot more back there somewhere that I just didn't fish out. Good luck, Chuck. Oh God. I passed up on this movie so many times. I basically own this movie for one reason. Because it might be on my top. I hope after seeing this that it might be on my top 10 list of worst movies I've ever seen in my life. That list is probably topped by You Don't Mess with the Sohan. Actually, the worst movie is Manos, The Hands of Fate. That movie's fucking awful. It's one of the most boring pieces of crap I've ever seen. But just the premise of this pissed me off so much I didn't want to see it. But I found it really, 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 really cheap. Just emphasize that, really cheap, like $3. So that's the reason why I own it. Dane Cook's terrible. I've never liked him in anything. Jessica Alba, oh God, she has been in some movies that are good, but she is not really that good in them, because Jessica Alba, like the best thing I've seen Jessica Alba in is honestly Dark Angel, and that was the first thing she ever did. And then another movie that's pretty much the same. Like any movie that has Katherine Heigl in it, it's like a warning sign. It's like, warning, warning, I made one movie that was good, that was knocked up, I will never make another good movie again. It's just, she scares me. Like, Life as We Know It, no, I will not see that. The Ugly Truth, yeah, this is from emphasize, all of these came from the same bargain bin, so they all have 49 crowns. That's about, I guess with the dollar being as low as it is, that's probably about $7. So it's probably a little bit more than I said about with Good Luck Chuck and all that, but still, those are really cheap Blu-rays. That's why I own them, and that's where the High School Musical movies came from too. But all those movies, they're just here so I can just flash them and show how horrible the bottom of my film barrel is. But yeah, okay. Let's see. I think the rest of these I've actually seen. Oh yeah, the rest of these films I have seen in one capacity or another. Just to keep going on the Disney trail, and this is gonna make people pissed off at me. The Hannah Montana movie. Same gist as with High School Musical 1 and 2. My mom bought me the DVD just for fun, because she thought it would be funny that she bought the DVD for me. And then eventually I found this on Blu-ray cheap, and you know what? I just jumped at the chance. Because honestly, I hate the Hannah Montana TV show. I hate it so much. It's one of those shows that has the notion that if a joke isn't working, yell it out. Don't say the line, yell it. Because everything's fun if you scream. I hate it so much. The jokes aren't funny, they're not good actors, they're awful. Awful, 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 awful. So I saw the movie, and I was sitting there, and I felt bad, because I got to the point where I was like, oh no, I can't believe it. It basically, I'm going to say right away, it's when Taylor Swift comes in to sing a song at their fucking country show, or the country fucking hoedown at the town hall, and I was like, oh no. It's like, my mom's like, what? She's like, oh God. I actually like this. I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually kind of enjoying this. I mean, it's not good, but oh God, it's not terrible either. What's wrong with me? And I will say it. I still think, I tried rewatching this. I don't think I want to do that, because it might change my opinion, but I actually think the Hannah Montana movie is kind of entertaining, in a good way, because it has actors in it. It has a conflict. What can I say? It has all the stuff I hate from the show is absent from this movie. I mean, it's like, fuck, Lily and Oliver, her best friends, are hardly in this movie. Oliver's in it for one scene. And it's so fucking awesome that they took the Hannah Montana movie. They just took everything from the show except Miley and Billy Ray Cyrus and stripped everything else out. And it's like, that's why I like it. I like it because it takes all the things I hate about the show and throw them out the window. The music is not that good. No, The Climb is not a good song. I don't like it that much. My favorite song is the last one they sing, which is called You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home, which, surprise, surprise, is actually co-written by Taylor Swift, so that kind of makes sense. It's either that or the song that Taylor Swift herself sings. But, yeah, just saying, this is the one that I'm most skeptical to put out there, because also this is the thing that I could definitely... I think one of the things this video stems from is that I had an argument with a friend about another movie I have here. Which I like, again, just like this movie. I like it even though it's bad or stupid. And I was talking to him about like how you can use movies to almost like argue with people. In fact, I was thinking about making a video just about movie arguing, and might even get to doing that. But like how if you find out someone likes a really bad movie, whenever you argue about taste, you can just say, yeah, well, you like this, so your opinion is void. And I knew that if I ever told anyone that I liked the Hannah Montana movie, they would, immediately discredit me as any sort of person with film taste. I have a friend who's told me that because I like Midnight in Paris, she will never take me seriously again. But anyway, I've just thrown out the fucking that is like poison. That's my kryptonite. Whenever anyone who's seen this video comes up to me and talks about movies, they can say, you like the Hannah Montana movie, so I'm gonna like Transformers 2. Fuck you very much. Because I think those came out the same year, and I said, you know what? Transformers sucked, but Hannah Montana did not. I actually said that when we came back to film school after the summer break. It's like Hannah Montana was better than Transformers 2. I never thought I would live in that world, but now I do. Okay, and then another one I'm just going to touch on briefly, because honestly, this movie shouldn't even be here, because it's understandable why it's here. In fact, I did not bring The Room out for this video. I have a DVD copy of The Room and Your Hunter from the Future, but those movies are so entertaining that putting them here doesn't really... Those movies are understandable why you have. In fact, I think Your is actually a good movie. It's a terrible movie, but it's a good terrible movie. Better than any of the terrible movies I have here, because I actually found Your very entertaining for what it was. Because the budget must have been really, really low. But yeah, Troll 1 and Troll 2. Troll 1 has good effects, and Troll 2 everyone knows the fucking jokes about. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Just putting it there. I also think this video's going kind of long, me just rambling about random movies that no one cares about. Another one that I just had to own because it's Lana from Smallville. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. I remember listening to a GameSpot podcast when they talked about this movie, and the funny thing was, I'm just going to put this down. The funny thing was that they had like an entire discussion in 15 minutes about this movie, and they even pointed out like that I think one of the first thing one of them said was, I can't believe they did it. They actually managed to one-up the original Street Fighter movie in terribleness. And I saw it, and I hardly remember anything of it, except that I fucking hated it. It was not like I bought that movie because again, that movie cost even less than the Blu-ray movies I held up. That one literally did cost like $3 or $4. And I bought it like really, really cheap off an online retailer because it's Kristen Kruk and because I have the original Street Fighter movie, and I have that on Blu-ray and I like it. I mean, come on. Who can argue with the speech that Jean-Claude Van Damme holds with the troops? It can make me cry. Oh, god damn it. Get it together. I'll do it for you, Jean-Claude. You get what I'm saying. It's just beautiful. There's nothing beautiful about that movie. There's no good speech. There's no cool fighting. There's no Ming-Na. There's no Raul Julia, of course. I think fucking Bison is Irish or Scottish or something? Again, I don't remember because I haven't seen that movie in so long, and I wasn't even really paying attention to it then because we're like not trying to. I was like, fuck, I gotta look away, shit. But yeah, it's just sad because Kristen Kruk hopped off of Smallville and like left the show, and like that was the movie she made afterward. It's kind of like the same thing with Katherine Heigl. She left Grey's Anatomy, and I'm gonna make The Ugly Truth. I'm gonna make New Year's Eve. I'm gonna make Life as We Know It. I'm gonna make these horrible, shitty romantic comedies that no one's ever going to be able to take seriously. And oh fuck, that's a movie I forgot to bring out for this. Oh fuck! Before we finish Street Fighter, so I'm just gonna say I have The Killers with Katherine Heigl and Ashton Kutcher. That is an unforgivable movie. Like that movie is terrible. It's awful. Like you wonder why Tom Selleck is in it. I'm not surprised by Katherine Heigl at that. I wasn't surprised at that point because she'd already made The Ugly Truth. But fuck, that was so awful, so terribly, terribly awful. It's like, oh God, unforgivable. Unfucking forgivable. And Ashton Kutcher, I've never had any fucking hopes for that guy. He's terrible. And my only hopes is that when 2.5 Men eventually fucking capsizes and dies, he will drown in the fucking wreckage. Because he's awful. Well, okay, either that or he dies when he's, when a plane crashes, when he's on to make the 3rd fucking Gary Marshall movie. Well, that's very dark, but I hate him and I hate all the movies he makes because he hasn't made a single movie that's serious since, what, The Butterfly Effect, and how long ago was that? I'm not saying good, I'm just saying a movie that's not a romantic comedy. Okay, let's get on with this. This one isn't really either justified because it's the Karate Kid collection 1 through 4. And the reason why this isn't really justified is because I bought this for £5 off of Amazon.co.uk. £5, that it might be around $10 now, and that it must have been $10 at least with shipping. And $10 for 4 Karate Kid movies, so what, like $2.50 a movie? That's nothing. And especially since I've upgraded it for, I guess the reason why it's still on here is because of the fact that I've upgraded Karate Kid 1 and 2 to Blu-ray because they release them really, really cheap out here. So I bought those. So this one is still I have movies boxed up that I have in better formats, VHS movies and stuff like that. But this one is literally out on my shelf just because of the fact that it has Karate Kid 2 and the next Karate Kid on it. And the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank, I have not seen Karate Kid 3, mind you. I have not seen it because of the fact that I've heard so many bad things about it, and I'm waiting for the right moment to watch it. The thing about here, yeah, it's 1 hour and 48 minutes long. This sounds kind of short. I mean, I think this might be wrong because here it says the first movie is 1 hour and 40 minutes long, and I don't believe that. I remember the first one be. Oh no, I'm probably thinking about the American. The remake. The Karate Kid remake should be here too because that movie's over 2 hours long. I'm pretty sure, and it is not justified. But yeah, Karate Kid 3's here, and the next Karate Kid is here, and the reason why it's here is simply because this box set's only reason for being out on my shelf is the fact that it has the two bad movies on it, and goddamn it, the next Karate Kid is bad. Okay, Dead Space Downfall. I love Dead Space, the game. I made a review, I think, of the original Dead Space. Maybe I never posted that, but I made a review of Dead Space 2 Severed, the DLC. I love Dead Space, the first Dead Space. I think it's the best survival horror game I've ever played. I have not played Clock Tower, or not all of the Silent Hills through to the end, but I love the original Dead Space because it's not only a very creepy game, not directly scary, but it's a very creepy game that's also a blast to play. I love that game. It has all the ingredients I want. It has great atmosphere, both in level design and in just characters and story, even though the story is very minimal. It has a great enemy design. It has everything I could want out of a game. Everything I could want out of a survival horror game. I thought the second one was lackluster. Still a great game, but it was lackluster because it was more action and less frights, and that kind of ruined it. Then again, just like with Batman Arkham Asylum, I felt like the first game was perfect, near perfect, and it would be really hard to replicate because I was so really, really in love with the first one. But this movie that came out as a tie-in to the original Dead Space is horrendous. And make no mistake, let me put it like this. This movie is terrible, but I'm still sort of happy to a certain extent that I own it, because it's a Dead Space product. But I was not completely tricked. I never bought because of this, because the quality of this, which is poorly animated, at least it's not to my taste. The American voice acting is bad, and I just feel like the effects. It's a manga product. It's a manga product, so it's so superficial, so over the top. I would have wanted something a little more, not superhero-y, not over the top. I would have liked something that was actually more realistic, because it's supposed to take place before Dead Space and explain what happened to everyone who first encountered all the monsters. But that movie put me off so much. It made me not buy the comic, and it even more I did not buy the sequel, because there was a sequel that tied in between the first and second games. But I did watch that, and that's even worse. Let's see here. I have a few other movies. Just gotta get through them so I can go to bed. I don't even know how much time has gone by. Oh god, this is one I bought just 2 weeks ago. And basically because it came with 3 different versions of it. Oh god, and I want to torture my friends with this one day. They say they're never going to go see it. They're going to see it. And they're not going to have a choice. Gulliver's fucking Travels. Funny story. The first time I even realized this movie was being made, I had a stomach ache and was sitting on the can. I was sitting on the can, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, I think on Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve. Or New Year's Eve, one of those two. I was like up early, it was dark outside, and I was going to go to work. I was sitting there like, oh god, I feel so bad. I'm sitting with my Total film, and I'm reading from the magazine, and I can look at the back cover, it's like, Gulliver's Travels. I'm like, oh no, oh fuck, I feel so bad already. Don't make it feel even worse. Oh shit, they're making a Gulliver's Travels with Jack Black. Oh. And I'm sitting there just feeling awful as it is, and this horrible news came along, and I knew that I had to see it. That was even worse. It's like, oh fuck, the new year has just come back. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it was around the end of the year, because that was when I started like getting my film momentum going. Last year, like 2009, I went to the movies 10 times. 2008, 2010, I went to the movies 10 times. 2011, I went to the movies over 80 times. So yeah, but I knew that, oh god, I'm gonna have to go see that, aren't I? And it's like, oh shit, that movie was awful. It's one of the worst movies of 2010. And ironically, the last 3 movies I have to show are all other movies from that category. But yeah, that movie I'm just showing because that movie, again, bought it really cheap, and I'm going to torture my friends with it. But that movie's probably the movie I have here the most that I've already seen that I'm not going to rewatch. Actually, scratch that. Dead Space belongs there too. I might watch the Karate Kid movies because they're kind of funny bad, at least like Last Karate Kid is. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, I almost owe another view one day because of how little I remember of it, even though it might be for a good reason. But let's get to the last 3 movies so I can go to bed, because I'm tired. Okay, here. These are... Okay, I'm going to take 2 of these 2 first, because they belong in they're very, very similar. And it is the Twilight ripoff. First we have the Red Riding Hood. Let's see, the Red Riding Hood, yes, flashy cover change to dudes, girl, yeah. This horrible fucking movie. Red Riding Hood with Amanda Seyfried and Gary Oldman. Just showing the good actor can choose a horrible, horrible movie. And then we have I Am Number 4. Wow. Yeah, these 2 movies, I went to see both these movies in the theater, and in fact, when it comes to I Am Number 4, I even read the book that the movie is based on. And yeah, put it like this: I read the book before I saw the movie, and the book was the worst book I've ever read in my life. I think I've said that on here before several times, but yeah, the I Am Number 4 book, it's the worst piece of garbage I've ever read. And I actually bought the sequel a couple of weeks ago, so maybe that's not true anymore, because that book doesn't even really focus on number 4 anymore. So yeah, there's a very big chance that might be a worse fucking story. But yeah. Oh god. I don't understand why the fuck those movies even exist. Like, Red Riding Hood is boring. I've seen it twice and I kind of enjoyed it, but it's a bad movie and it's kind of boring. I will say that about I Am Number 4. It is a better movie than Red Riding Hood. Not because it's good, but because at least it has stupid stuff all the time throughout you can laugh at. Red Riding Hood is a little more, directly trying to be Twilight. I Am Number 4 just has the whole from 2 different worlds scenario in there, and the relationships are equally shallow, just like the ones in Twilight. But again, aliens and like a death threats is a little more interesting than a CGI werewolf. I just feel like the Red Riding Hood movie is directly... I mean, it's made by... What's her name? Catherine... Oh, god damn it. I'm so tired. I should remember her name. Catherine Hardwicke. See, I didn't even find it on here. I just remembered it. It's made by Catherine Hardwicke, and it's bad. It's directly trying to ape what she already made. I mean, Red Riding Hood has Billy Burke play the father again. He played the father in Twilight, and she's like, I need someone to play the main character's father. I'm gonna ask the guy that already played the father for me once. And yeah, the thing about that movie is also it always feels like they're on a set. Just like again, yeah, that's kind of like the third Twilight movie. Twilight Eclipse felt like it was on a soundstage. Like they're on a mountain in the end of Twilight Eclipse, and you can tell it's a soundstage. Like it's not cold at all. The boulders don't look like real boulders, and like the grounds around them don't even look like real, like the bottoms. You can see, like, look down into the fucking vast valleys below. It doesn't mesh with what they're standing on. But yeah, I'm not here to talk about Twilight, even though I should have those three here too, because I have the first three Twilight movies, and I will buy fucking Breaking Dawn just because I have a completionist thing. And how much does it say about me as a person that I directly admit that I will buy Breaking Dawn when it comes out on Blu-ray, but I did not buy Transformers fucking 3. Yeah, that's how bad Transformers 3 is. But yeah, those two movies are awful, but I kind of enjoy them. Again, kind of enjoy them, especially I Am Number 4, because at the last third of the movie, when Teresa Palmer's number 6 comes into the movie, it just becomes a fucking hilarious, like, it becomes an action movie. Like, she just comes in and she brings the action. Like, every scene she's in up till then, she's like only in 2. She blows up houses and stupid shit, and when she comes in, the first thing she does is just start shooting shit with intergalactic weaponry and blow buildings up, and I'm like, dude, where the fuck have you been through the entire movie? This movie would have been so fucking great if you just spent it killing people and blowing shit up. But again, that's Red Riding Hood doesn't really have a big explosion thing. It's not like Teresa Palmer comes out and starts blowing shit up, even though that would be awesome. Okay, and the last movie, the one me and my friend had an argument about, the movie that he thinks is actually a good movie, and I just enjoy because it's stupid bad. The movie I'm talking about is Zack Snyder's latest, Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch, again, I really, really enjoy. I don't think he really understood that. I really, really enjoy Sucker Punch. It's a bad movie. It's a terrible movie in a lot of ways. Like my ideal definition of this film is, I always say this when someone brings up Sucker Punch, is I explain Sucker Punch is the 14-year-old, incredibly horny little brother of Inception. I think that's a pretty good explanation, right? I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's the dream within a dream concept, essentially, but with extremely, extremely hot girls. And again, what's not to like about that? Extremely hot women in a movie that's made by someone who obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to visual aesthetics, but when it comes to what he's written, he doesn't realize that what he's written is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I like Emily Browning in that movie. I like Abby Cornish. I like some of the girls. But and the first action scene, which is between Emily Browning and the fucking samurai, like the big samurai monster with a Gatling gun and giant sword thing at the ice temple, is fucking fantastic. I love it. But it's not a good movie at all. It's stupid because of the same reasons I just mentioned why I like it. So the problem was, my friend said it was a good movie. I said it's a bad movie, but I still enjoy it. And I think I might actually make a review of this one day when I actually talk about, not a review, I'll make a video where I just talk about the whole arguing movies with people, because it's kind of funny. Like, it's always the most fun when you're talking to someone who you know kind of well, who you usually agree with, and all of a sudden you find a movie that person detests that you like. The more similar you are, and then you find a conflict point, the more enjoyable it becomes. I have a friend who hates Almost Famous, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. And that would just be, just that kind of discussion. He hasn't seen it in a lot of years, so his only, reaction to that is he just remembers hating it. But it's funny when you find someone who actually actively remembers something and they fucking hate it and you really like it. And both of you are verbal enough that you can actually come up with reasons why you like/hate it. Because a lot of times I'm so into movies that, again, with this whole sucker punch argument, and my friend even acknowledges this, and that makes me mad because it makes it less fun to argue when he just says, well, I don't really look at movies like that. When I just said, well, you know, this entire thing's badly put together, the film's overly long, and the third and fourth action sequences are superfluous and kind of make the entire thing feel more annoying. It would have been more interesting if they had tried to change up the scenarios a little more, maybe added a jungle environment. I just pointed out all these things that would have made it more aesthetically interesting and would have made the movie like more concise and probably a more better experience as a whole, at least in a narrative point of view. And he just says that, well, I never thought of it like that, and I don't really care to because I don't look at movies like that. I'm like, don't fucking tell me that you think I look at movies in a more advanced way than you. That doesn't make this fun to argue. I want to keep on yelling at you for liking a movie I don't like. Come on. This basically ended up with me going out on Facebook and like, you know, writing a big fucking status update to all my friends who like movies that I hate and being all like, you know what? Hey, you like Sohan. You're fucking stupid. You like Sweeney Todd. Go fuck yourself. And it's like pointing out all these movies that people don't like. And it's like, now, everyone, come here and tell me why I'm an idiot. And of course the entire thing boils down to not anything like Hannah Montana, but people going to me like, well, your favorite movie is Tangled. It's like, yeah, my favorite movie is Tangled. I'm a fucking nerd. I have a fucking Rapunzel standee in my room that I got from a video store. I've got the fucking poster hanging over my bed. I have Tangled. My last birthday cake was a fucking Tangled cake. But you know what? Tangled is not a bad movie. You can say it, but you're never going to convince me otherwise because I've actually written... Let's see here. Oh, God. Good, I'm standing out here. So, I have written... And this has nothing to do with what I've been talking about for the last, what is it, an hour or something? I have a 14-page, like, you know, analysis. This is like I'm proofreading it. But I have a 14-page analysis on Tangled as why I think it's the best Disney princess movie ever made. So, yeah, you can try and convince me that Tangled's a bad movie. You will never succeed because I have a 14-page document of why I think it's the best. But yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. That's the way it works. This video, again, didn't really have a point. It's just me talking. And I think a lot of people like think that, oh, you should put, you know, trailers in here so I can have something more presentable than your ugly face to look at when I listen to what you're saying. But that's not really what this is, at least not yet, and I don't think it will be for a while. What this is now is just me talking. So if you think I'm annoying, do what I do when I watch people's vlogs. Like the Spoony one at SpoonyExperiment.com, I play a video game and I put on the fucking review and I listen to the review while I'm playing the game because you get all the information. And I think at least I said the name of every single movie I talked about, so sometimes you didn't have to look at the covers unless you're really interested to see good/bad box art, and that's an entire video of its own, which gives me an idea for a video. Oh well, I've got a lot of stuff to do. I gotta go to bed. Because, well, shit, I gotta get stuff together. This is procrastinating again. I should have been writing right now. And I gotta get all these movies back, because my mom will kill me if I don't. I need to move out of my mom's house, but I don't have a place to go, and I have too many movies to move. See you later. Bye.